Most sheet music will indicate which mode the passage is written in, so in that instance, you obviously don't need to understand anything about identifying modes. Unfortunately, you don't get such information in the examinations, nor do you get any help if you're trying to work out a song from a CD or MP3. So far as lead playing is concerned, your first indication that you are not in a standard mode would be that it just doesn't sound right. You have found a tune, it starts on a minor chord, so you play a bit of minor lead over it. But something is wrong. It just doesn't seem to fit properly. Chances are that the piece you are trying to play is written in one of the other minor modes. Either that, or it changes key after a few chords. If it changes key, then that's another matter entirely. You will have to learn your chords and key lessons in the theory section to work this out. But if it is another minor mode, and not a key change, then you have two choices. It's either a Dorian or a Phrygian. Chances are that it will be Dorian. You can check this assumption if there is a dominant chord on the fourth interval, rather than the usual fifth. You can use this same trick for the major modes. Again, if it is not the standard, or Ionian major, then it will be either the Lydian or the Mixolydian. In this case it is more likely to be the Mixolydian, because as with the minor Dorian, the Mixolydian is far more popular. Though again, it may just be a key change. Identifying modes is a bit like long division. It seems complicated when you first look at it, but there are definite patterns and tricks that can help you along. Though regardless of the tricks, you will still need to learn harmony theory to enable you to make the faster choices necessary for the advanced grades. For now though, you should try to understand the relationships between the different modes. Here are a few important points. 1. The exact same chords that you learn in a major key, C major for example, are the same chords that you will find in that key's other modes. So in the case of C major, the D Dorian, E Phrygian, F Lydian, G Mixolydian, A Aeolian and B Locrian all contain exactly the same chords as each other. It's just a question of where you start. 2. It's not just the chords that are exactly the same. The notes in the C major scale are exactly the same ones as those played in the other modes mentioned before. An obvious conclusion to this is that you can play whatever scale you like regardless of the name. For example, D Dorian is relative to the C major, so feel free to play that C major scale over the D Dorian chords, and vice versa. The most common example of this is the relative minor. Again, in the case of C major, we have the relative natural minor of A. Practically every guitarist in the world would prefer to play a natural minor scale shape, rather than the major. So playing A minor over C major chords is not so much the exception as it is the rule. Of course, you need to know a bit of scale theory to find the root notes, whatever scale you choose. 3. Remember the flavors. I know that sounds a little ambiguous, but it is important. The Phrygian mode has a Spanishy flavor. The Mixolydian is usually rock-based major. The Locrian is dark and disjointed. The Dorian is quite often jazzy, and the Lydian has a quirky melodic major feel. 4. Always remain open-minded, both about what you're trying to play and what you would like to compose. The same chords and scales as used in standard modes can easily be changed around to make them more interesting. If you're looking to compose something sad and Spanishy, then look at the Phrygian. If a jazzy feel is what you're after, then check out the Dorian, and so on. So the main point of modes is to give you more choices and greater options than the standard major and minor keys. Try your best to get your head around the relationships between the modes. Look at the internet for examples of modal tunes, or go to the mode card pages on this website, and try some of the songs listed there. It will be time very well spent.